Alright, so I got a video on here of me doing front motor mounts on a different truck, a 379 Peterbilt. This is a 97, that was an 03, but I'm sure the concept's about the same. I'm going to do this one on the rear ones best that I can. If it turns out, I'll post it. Here on the driver's side, it's not as easy to get to. Somewhere underneath those wires is where your bolts are at. That other truck I did, the metal bushings were stuck to the bolts, so I had to take the whole bracket off the side of the motor. Let's see if I can get y'all a bird's eye view of this. That's what we're working with. Pretty sure, I mean, from down here, that one looks missing to me. Anyway, pretty rough shape. Alright, so basically this is the driver's side. Everything's a lot more harder to get to. I took a bungee cord and run it up to here. There's a eye right there, and wrapped it around a bunch of this harness, and then hooked it back down there. I guess there's supposed to be a wire loom or something right there, maybe. Anyways, I hooked it to that. Got half this crap out of my way. So at least now you can see the bolt's right underneath that, right there. So at least now with the rest of that harness out of the way, you got a little room to work with. Got a fairly long extension. So hopefully I can get that down in there. But this side's a lot harder to mess with than the other side. So stay tuned. Alright, so after I put y'all down, there's a better look at it. The problem is going to be down there at the bottom. I gotta get a wrench on that, and can't see it, but it's right close to the motor. There's hardly any room. Maybe I can come in from like the cab side of this bracket I'm staring at instead of the engine side. So I'm gonna see if I can get a wrench on this, and I'll update y'all on how I did it. Alright, so basically got gravity and centrifugal force holding the wrench up there. Like from the outside, I can run my fingers up and just push up on it, and the frame should keep it from turning. Well, either way, it's either going to turn. All I got to do is hold it in place. Either the frame or the transmission, one of the two is going to stop it from moving whichever direction it's going. So I'm going to try that, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I don't know what that y'all caught, but that did the trick. Got it off of there. So now I'll just try and do the same thing with the other one. So that's what we got going on this one. I had to put a swivel on this back one. There's just so much stuff in the way. So swivel, large extension. I'm gonna have my impact back here in this hole. But crawl underneath and show you what I did with that wrench. and I don't even know what y'all could see, but I got the wrench and I had to flip it so it's curved up towards the cab, and then I got it run back towards the transmission. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Stand outside, hold my fingers up on the wrench from the bottom, and see what I can do. Alright, so kind of what I'm going to do here, jack up on that flange right there. Should be pretty stout, I'd say. Probably maybe should jack up over here, and you know, I don't know where these bolts are at. Might be a better place, but I don't have enough blocks to reach up here, so I'm gonna go with right there, and you make your own life choices. I'm hoping this block will squish and hit some of this and that instead of just all being on the front. Alright, so I got this thing jacked up, and be careful when you're jacking it up because you can hit stuff like, yeah, that. I actually got a little carried away. But anyway, this one was on the bottom of this bracket down here. Went down there like that. This one was faced up between the two like that. So it didn't want to come out because all this got flared. So I took a screwdriver and beat the bushing down and broke it. So then I was able to get it to come out. The new ones look like this. There's no washer. So I don't know if I was supposed to reuse the washer on top, but I'm pretty sure it's part of the upper bushing. You know, pretty sure it's part of this. I think it's all one piece. Just like this was all one piece, right? It's a big washer in there. So I'm just gonna put this one in here, facing down. And then the other one coming up from the bottom with the metal bushing in it, coming up from the bottom like that. I don't think I'm gonna mess with the washer because it'll probably squeak. And if yours comes apart and it has like a big washer, yeah, you do what you want to do. I'm not gonna put it back because it's probably gonna squeak. I'm gonna put anti-seize on this so it'll slide up in there better or easier. It was a little tough earlier, so I'm gonna put anti-seize on it so it goes up in there. And I'm just gonna do one at a time so this motor don't go side to side or something. Get out of alignment so I can't get my bolts back in. It's hard to show y'all what I'm doing because there's no room to move, but anyway, this bushing, you can't even see it. It's got that gap right there. I'm just gonna take a screwdriver and go around the top, push it down in. It's kind of tight, it don't want to go. So that's what we're doing. And I guess a pry bar, anything would work. But so there you go. Got that thing seated in there. I'm gonna put anti-seize on this and slide it up from the bottom, run this one bolt through, and I'm going to work on that one, see what I can get done. I just don't want to get too far apart, get the motor moving around, then I won't be able to get the bolts back in. So I put anti-seize on the inside and outside. I'll make sure you put some on the inside, because if you got to do this again, you don't want that bolt hanging up in there. And I'll probably put some on the bolt too, just because I've had to take this whole bracket off before, because this got stuck to the bolt and I couldn't get it apart, and it was on the driver's side, so it's already not an easy task, and then you got to take this bracket off too. It's just better to do it with anti-seize. It's working great. Time for rescue mission. Like I said, you're gonna have to fight with these, but they've mushroomed out. Part of it. Somebody's socket. Alright. So there you go. They're out. Alright, so I was able to actually push this one down in using the screwdriver inside the hole. I was actually able to push on it. Then I wedged the screwdriver right there. Between that bracket and the bushing, that way I can push the metal bushing up from the bottom, because I did actually pop it out. So might want to have something there to hold it or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to run the bolt in this side, and I'm going to start working on the other side. The bottoms keep falling off, so I'm just going to leave them off for now. On the driver's side, there's no room to do anything. I can't really stress that enough. So I reached up and carved on these with my knife and got that trimmed down enough where I could push them back through the hole with a screwdriver pretty easy. Now I'm going to work on putting the top ones back in. I may put the bushings in first this time, because probably really be easier to use the motor to push them back down through than it will be to get a screwdriver or a pry bar to push them down. So I'm going to work on that. Like I said, I just stuck my arm up in there with my knife and kind of just chiseled around them. I mean, you can't. I mean, you really can't do nothing. You ain't got no room. You just got this little bitty hole. So, I'm gonna see if I can get the top ones back in. I may put that metal bushing in first and just let the motor squeeze them down in. Not real sure, but that's what I think I'm gonna go with. I might have to do them one at a time, but I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Not sure. Stay tuned. I might have just changed my mind on the big washer. I know this bushing, I mean that stuff, I don't know what to do with it, but I think I'd rather these two pieces wear together than I would this piece to wear up into the motor mount. So probably gonna put the big washer back on top. Alright, so I put a little anti-seize on it. I don't know if y'all can see. It's hard to get the light up there. But anyway, put a little anti-seize on it, on the bushing itself, the rubber bushing. I did use the motor to push it back down. I'm going to jack it back up and put the other side in. Well, actually, that one I just got in there by hand. So the one in the front I had to use the motor to push in, but that one went right in because you can reach it right here, but you know, that little guy you can't reach. So anyway, I'm gonna run the bolts down through and get the big washers put back on. I just feel like it needs them. It'll probably squeak or something, and I'll probably hate it, but I'd rather that bushing wear into that big washer than I would the bushing wear into the motor mount. That didn't quite work as planned. The metal sleeves didn't stay in the side when I put the bolts through because it was at a weird angle. But anyways, you can see, probably can't see. Nope, you can see my hand. But now I've set back down. The bolts are pretty loose, like moving back and forth. So I should be able to. Well, I should be able to slide this bad boy back on. So we'll try that from the bottom side. Alright. Got them bad boys on there. Drove up there. So I'm gonna put the poly bushing back on, the nut and the washer, and then tighten the stuff down. It's a big pain in the butt, especially this side. I don't know how what these torque to, but it's just getting everything this little half inch will give it. that's pretty much it. I'm not going to bore you with doing the driver's side because I'm ready to get out of here. This probably took me like 5 hours, I'd say. Probably shouldn't take 5 hours. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic, but this isn't a how-to video. This is just how I did it video.